Okay everyone, very sorry for the delay. I was just held up a little bit because I was actually late home from work. So I pretty much just ate and I'm ready to go. I just have some last minute preparations to do. Just gotta load up the replay. Well, I won't load up the replay straight away, but I've got the folder open. And let's open this just quickly. I'll pause it as soon as it starts. Right, okay. So the replay is up, as you can tell in the background. Just adding one hotkey to my whatever it's called, OBS, and then we'll get going. Yeah, once again, I do apologise for the delay. If you've never actually seen this before, this is the Pan American Team League. I'll explain it a little bit in just a moment. But we've got the cool Terran music in the background. So, wait, this isn't Terran music, is it? Yeah, it is. It's Terran 3, I think. Okay, so what I just need to do is, on OBS mode, I need to set a hotkey to show and hide the top overlay, which is this one. And not top overlay, main overlay is what I need. And what I need to do is I need to set it to something that I'm not going to be using, because one of the hilarious things was, after the last Clash for Char, one thing you will notice is I am going to be using my Clash for Char overlays, but that's only because I'm not entirely prepared. I mean, I'm prepared, but I couldn't set up another section to my Java program for this, unfortunately. If I continue casting this, I will do, though. So what we have in front of us is, I'm just going to very quickly shove up the player colors. So buildings is the Terran who is in the top, and he is teal. But let's not worry about that too much for just a moment, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to show the maps to begin with. And this is the wrong overlay. Right, okay, so what we need to do is we need to show the main overlay, which should now be set up. Okay, so a little bit of introduction. If you're just tuning in, I've been a little bit delayed, but basically this is the Pan American Team League, being ran by Psionic Reaver and his motley crew of admins, and obviously you've got all the team leaders and clan leaders and whatever. It's on the first season at the moment. You can find the thread here. I need to add this to Nightbot, but I didn't get too much time, so that's fine. But there we go. If you're interested in the league, I believe teams are still looking for players. I know my team, Vex, actually added someone last week. We're up to the 5th week of games this week. I believe it might be the 4th, actually. But either way, this is games from week 3, so week 4 did just conclude. We're sort of catching up with the casting. So it is. Why didn't this load? And Hannibal also doesn't have a map. Did I misspell Hannibal in one of my images? I think I did. And somehow Medusa. Okay, well, let's ignore that for now. We'll fix that. We'll fix that at a later date. Either way, that is in fact Medusa, not Hannibal. Hannibal is a really cool 2v2 map that was used in the 2007 Pro League, I believe. And yeah, so the maps today, ignoring 2 of the images, that's a little bit I didn't get a chance to test. So the first map is the Sin Peaks of Baekdu, a very, very classic map with some pretty wonky pathing. I played a lot with SCC's Faust to try and help him prepare for this map, and lost a lot in TVZ by just my units going everywhere I didn't want them to go. On the second, this is best of 5 in case you hadn't realised. On the second map we do have Destination, which is probably one of the most classic macro maps you could possibly ever hope to see in Brood War. There are, I mean, we'll see it in game, but there are the naturals with 2 bridges going in and out, and you have like the mineral only back third if you mine out your minerals, and you've got gas bases everywhere. Really easy to split this map, especially in TVZ, which we are, no, the first game is TVZ, the next game isn't. I'll need to check what that is as we get to it. Then we see Hannibal, the 2v2 map, which surprisingly looks like Neo Moonglaive for some reason. That's very interesting, I don't know why that loaded that. We then have Neo Medusa, which you can see the map there, but it's pretty cool. And finally, for Game 5, we will have Circuit Breaker, probably the most standard map that's used at the moment outside of Fighting Spirit. So let's just quickly hide this again, although it looks like my hotkey I just set up didn't actually work, so let's just quickly go and check. Maybe it doesn't like this hotkey. It's very possible that maybe it's a hotkey. Oh no, there we go. Right, so we are going to jump straight into Game 1, and while I do note that it is my Clash for Char overlay, yeah, this is the Pan American Team League. I'm just going to steal the stats from these games for my map stats, which you saw back on the other screen there. But basically, right, what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into this first game, and we're going to have a look at how SCC-B faces off against dM-Fire in a best of 5 clan war. Let's get going. So we do see, I need to press tab, we do see in the top right position, which is about 1 o'clock on the map, but is offset ever so slightly from the corner, we do have SCC's MLTY, or buildings. And in the bottom left, we do have the purple Zerg, dM-Spider. And there we go, Faust is in the chat, and Hongdu, everyone loves Hongdu, he's a cool guy. I'm just going to reveal the entire map just for a second, and we're going to zoom out. Look at the weird shape of these mains. Like this is a very, I can't remember when this map came out, but it is one of the more classic macro maps. This was actually remade in StarCraft 2 as well, and we do see like a really wonky main shape. Doesn't affect Zerg too much, but when we look over at the Terran's base, it's really hard to fit in all your buildings. Like, really hard. But either way, let's have a look at the openings for each player. It looks like buildings. Getting his depot a little bit late, but does build it on the bottom of this command center, giving his SCV the ability to spawn a little bit further right. One quirk of this map, or any map where your command center is below the minerals, like it is here, the SCV will always pop out no matter where you rally it, unless you sort of rally it right there. It's always going to go this way, pretty much. There are some exceptions, like on Outsider, where it'll try and go this way around the minerals, but as long as you build your depot right here, it'll pop the SCV out there and you can just move it up. Now, down in the Zerg's base, we do see him going up to 11 before getting, or going up to 9 and getting an Overlord, and it looks like he will be going a 12 hatch. One important thing to note on this map, I can use the cool zoom feature here as well. This map has a very open front of your natural. It is a very classic map. I mean, look, even the gas is in such a weird place. It's sort of in between these cliffs, so I mean it's never going to happen, but you could even drop this up here and just shoot down the gas, or even the minerals with like a tank especially. And the same can be said for the Terran base. It looks like we will have some drone harass going on here by Spider as he tries to get any early advantage he can. One important thing to note here as well is that buildings is actually going straight up for gas. Will he pull out of gas at 88, or is he going to go super hard in with the tech? Now, one thing you can do is you can just go for a Volt Expand by pulling out 88, but it does look like he's going to stay in. He'll be putting up his factory fairly shortly. Still not pulling out guys from gas, so it's very possible we could see a Wraith build coming up here. That's a common opening on maps, although it does look... No, that wasn't pulled out, it just got a bit confused by the pathing. Back in the Zerg's base, we do see the spawning pool finishing up. Is Spider going to try and make use of the fact... one other notable of the fact... there's a really cool map feature on this map, so whereabouts are they? These bridges here, there's 2 of them. There's one here and one here, and what they do is they give... I know too much about Peaks of Baekdu. I know too much about every map, like, seriously. Yeah, Sin Chapung Ryung and Sin Peaks are different, but they are very, like, they're the same sort of style. I can't say the name properly, but Sin Chapung came out in 2008 for the Inca OSL, and this was a little bit earlier. I think it was like 2006 or something. But the Terran is going up to a starport. Will we see a second one? The Overlord will spot this as well, and there's not too much he can do about it. Where he did go for the more mech opening, he actually only built one Marine previously. I think there was another Marine that came in and maybe died. Wouldn't have done too much. But yeah, as I was saying, these bridges are actually only small units could get through here, so only Zerglings, Marines, Medics, Firebats, and Zealots, from what I understand. And it makes it incredibly difficult to go around the map, but we do see the Hydralisk Den being morphed. Is going for, I believe that's range to start with. So Spider not playing the most common way to play on this map. Mutalisks are so good on this map purely due to the layout of the main. Look at all this dead space behind your main where the Mutalisks can just come in, loop around and attack your minerals. It's so frustrating to play. But we do see, interestingly, Buildings moves his starport. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be doing with it. It looks like he's slipped up a little bit in his macro, not adding any units from here. We do see the first Vulture out, trying to do a little bit for us on the map, clear out the map. So look at this. Because he's not used to the map, he's got his Vulture stuck pathing. Like I think he thinks he can. Like usually you just rally at the Zerg space, but the problem is, thank you for the follow. The problem is basically this will happen. Your Vulture will get stuck and there's absolutely nothing you can do. One interesting thing is it did manage to get 2 kills while it was doing that, and when he gets his second Vulture he does pick it up and he will move. One thing to note as well is the high ground pods here, and you can go either way, but you can't get up to here. To get up to here you need to go the whole way around the top side of the map. So there is 2 distinct paths, and it makes it a little bit awkward to attack and very easy to counterattack from the Zerg's perspective. The third base is up. Notable is there is a third gas here, so no crazy shenanigans with mineral-only bases back then. We see the third command center being built. No, actually, yeah, that's a third command center in a really weird position. I imagine he's going to float it down here, but it's not a very optimal placement. He's maybe trying to hide it from the Overlord, but the Overlord will see everything. Still not actually doing anything with this starport. Kind of unsure why he went for this opening. No armor either, so he can't go up to Valkyries. He does still have this Vulture out, and this Vulture does have speed. I haven't seen any mines yet. I imagine that's actually... Okay, so it's not... Maybe he does have them, but he's not placing them, but I guess he's maybe not built them. He does see the Hydralisks, which is a really important thing. How did Spider know Buildings has no idea how to play this map? Yeah, Buildings I think is being thrown off a little bit. Mech is a very strong choice though. You do have this high ground pod out the front. There is a very small ramp. Looks like Buildings tried to move in there to do a little bit of damage. Does actually kill one Hydralisk, but this other Hydralisk is just going to be able to run past, and this Vulture will be cleaned up, unable to really do any damage. One thing that Buildings could have done, if he was to play this game again, is there is absolutely no defense at this Zerg third even. So he would more than likely just, oh, he's pushing his Marines a little bit too far forward, and the Hydralisk will pick them off. He doesn't actually have that much defense at the moment. He needs to be careful. Another Vulture does come down, but these 2 Hydralisks are going to do so much damage, there's just no units for him. I don't even think the first tank is out. It looks like the first tank is going to come down the ramp now, and that will put an end to this aggression, but there's so many Hydralisks streaming in. With only 1 tank, he needs to pull this back. If he doesn't repair, he's going to lose the game right here, right now. Not making use of his starport. He does have another tank up here, but GG is called as he's forced to pull his SCVs against all the Hydralisks, and there's absolutely nothing he can do. Unfortunate for Buildings there, showing his inexperience on the map. Most certainly Spider did play that map a little bit better. And Faust in chat is of course the captain of SCC, or leader I guess, I don't know what you'd call them, but oh, apparently, oh okay, my bad, right, so Buildings never showed up, so MLTY had to sub in, and I just assumed it was another ID, but it was still going to be a Terran player. Buildings looks like he was having an aneurysm during the game. Wow, that's a bit harsh. But if we have to be entirely certain, someone Chava thought it was a bug rep as well. That could be a very good explanation. but we do see Spider taking the first win in this best of 5 for his team, and we are going to move now onto the next map, which will be Destination. I nearly exit program there, that would have been quite funny. Just knock everything off, that's it. So just while I set up this game... Whoa, I didn't load the campaign. Okay, I guess we're playing campaign now, boys. Right, okay, load replay. Let's try that again. Right, so just while I do this, I'm just going to pop their names and races into my overlay. I've got them open on Discord. So we do have on Destination, SCC-B's Zeldaran, and DM Sausage. Although, Sausage... Sausage? I don't think that's how you spell sausage, but that's okay. We don't judge. So, Sausage is in fact a Zerg as well, and Zeldaran is another Terran. So we will see yet another TVZ, and in comparison to Sin Peaks, this is actually an incredibly good map for TVZ. So, Zeldaran, I've played with him quite a lot as well. He's pretty good. He doubts himself sometimes, but he's decent. Like, he's got ways to improve, same as everyone else. But we are going to go into set 2 now with Zeldaran. Okay, so in the top left position, the 11 o'clock position, we do have DM's Sausage. And then in the bottom right, which I am going to bring up in just a second, we do have the Green Terran, SCC-Cs. Wait, is this SCC-B or SCC-C? I keep forgetting. SCC-B. Let me just double check. Yeah, SCC-B. We see SCC-B's Zeldaran. Faust is saying there is a huge skill discrepancy between SCC-A, SCC-B and SCC-C, but I love all my SCC bros, all my basket of deplorables. Okay, Faust a nice guy there, showing he is a... Faust showing he's a really good captain. We do see Sausage going up to 9 drones. I imagine we'll see an Overlord here. Probably go for a 12 hatch, really popular on this map. Very hard to punish without a bunker rush. SCC EU. Yeah, there are EU members of SCC. Just in case you're just tuning in and you're not really sure what this tournament is, this is in fact the Pan American Team League, and it is region locked. So only America, like only North and South America can play, and there are a lot of EU players sort of sat on the teams in the side waiting for the possible second season, where Psionic Reaver said he would actually be adding. Very possibly adding EU players as well, because it's always nice. The only trouble is when you get a big tournament like this, you run into the situation where the players can't actually play each other when there is such a huge skill discrepancy, and it does look like we're going to have Sail trying to join SCC, so we could see an SCC only Zergs allowed. Nice. And grats on Sail for getting 2k MMR today. ELO's not in this game, man. Different rating system, but that's still cool. Yeah, okay, back in Sausage's base. I'm gonna call him Sausage because I don't know if that's Sausage. I can't work out if that's the right spelling for sausage or not, but either way, we do have him in his base, adding his spawning pool and adding his gas, fairly standard. In comparison to MLTY in the last game, Zeldaran going for the very standard 1 Rax expand. We should see the Marine. Is he going to build the depot? Okay, so this depot, he should have built really on 15, but he's going to be able to build the CC on 18 supply, which is very good timing. Looks like he will get the SCB there just in time, and we will see him go and just plant that CC right down there. Looks like he actually opted to get the extra Marine just to be safe. He's only just got into the Zerg's base. Taken a lot of damage from the drone actually. I think that may have been the SCB that was building the barracks, so he needs to be extra careful and make sure he keeps that SCB alive for as long as possible. He does see the 2 base layer though, and this is a very important thing to scout. He doesn't see a 3rd hatchery anywhere. While it is possible that Sausage was hiding one somewhere else, I mean, based on the timing and the supply, and oh no, he needs to keep his SCV alive. The SCV does get picked off really early. This is going to give Sausage free reign to do whatever he wants back in his base. Zoldaran playing completely in the dark right now, unsure what's really going on, but he can only really... If you were sitting in Zoldaran's position, looks like he actually got his gas. He's going to go into his Engineering Bear on 24, so this actually looks a lot like the +1 Fibrax build, which is the most standard TVC opening at the moment. Not my favourite personally, but it is very strong. Popularised by a lot of the Terrans who stuck around, like C, and Flash, as usual, came back and pretty much perfected it. We do see Zoldaran getting a really nice second SCV, and this is really important, although will he be able to get up the ramp? He needs to do some like juking and driving here. One thing he could have done, and one thing that a lot of pros do actually, is when they know their SCV is going to die, they send it over to the minerals, and then what you can do is right click another SCV onto the mineral patch, and basically you will get that free scout, because they will run straight through the lings on the ramp, and as long as there's not enough there, or yeah, as long as there's not enough to kill the SCV in one pass, you will actually get that scout off. He's actually sending a third SCV out just to check not only on the ling numbers, but he really wants to know what tag's coming his way. Both Lurkers and Mutalisks will require completely different responses. Actually looks like his academy might be going up a little late, given the fact he's already lost a few SCVs to scouting, but there is, I mean, very cleverly, he did get this depot up here, but he needs to be very careful. These lings are just going to keep darting in and out, and he needs to be careful not to finish that depot, because it will mana the hell out of his gas, and make it incredibly annoying a little bit later into the game. One thing that Sausage is doing is he is pulling back and forward, just with his lings, seeing if he can get in. There is a bunker with marines next to it, so pretty good for him. His spire does look like it's about to finish, and he will be able to get 6 mutas in one go. I can only imagine that's what he's saving for. Yeah, so we do see the mutalist morphing. He didn't quite have enough minerals and gas. But one thing that is very important to note is when you're going to hatch mutalists like this, look at how few drones you actually have on your natural expansion. You don't have that extra 3 lava to continue building drones, so in a way, to hatch Mutalist somewhat needs to do damage, but look at this really nice positioning by Zoldaran, using the gas and the minerals as like a semi-wall along with his... oh no, he moves out. He needs to be really careful. These lings could actually kill a lot of his marines here. Some good control pulling them back, but there's just too many lings here. He's going to have to pull his marines out of the bunker, and he still doesn't actually have any medics at the moment either, so he needs to be very careful. He does have his 5 racks started. He's only on 28 supply though, and it looks like he doesn't have his upgrades. Or then maybe he didn't stim because he didn't want to waste his medic and marine armor. Okay, you can't really use the observer interface to block vision, so it's actually a little bit harder to catch the scans. But we do see the mutants flying in, and there's absolutely no missile turrets. He has a very meager force of medic marine, and they do not have range yet. He needs to be very careful. These mutants can do so much damage. Actually just moving in and out, picking off marines as they can. If they get this medic, this is going to be really bad for Zoldaran. Losing all of his SCVs at his natural, and there's just not enough medic marine here. Just losing absolutely everything here, and even this turret is going to be cancelled. These mules are doing an insane amount of damage. And back in the main base, does he have any turrets? He's got 3 turrets now. They are a little bit late. A bit surprising from Zoldaran. He did scout the early layer and knew there was no lurkers coming because he didn't see any hydralisks. But this medic, he needed to get it in the bunker. And oh, these mutants are actually just fighting toe to toe with the bunker. There's just not enough DPS coming out of it. And I think Sausage could just win the game here and now. Another 3 mutalisks actually fly in, another 5. And this mutalist block is getting bigger and bigger. There's absolutely no turrets covering the barracks here. And Zoldaran is in such a bad position. He's not going to be able to leave his base, and he's not really actually going to be able to reinforce his army. And with no choice but to GG with the I don't know what you'd call this, the barracks farm, I guess. With the barracks farm being camped by the mutalisks. Yeah, they have their own smileys. That's kind of cool. But yeah, with the barracks being camped, there wasn't too much that poor Zeldaran could do. Sausage back in his base had not even actually started droning back up again. He didn't really need to. He knew he'd won the game, just continued to add units. At the very end of the game, we did see a stream of Lings and even more Mutless coming across, and he did build this third base, so Zeldaran wouldn't have been able to sort of come back in this game, knowing he was stuck on the two bases that he had, but he just had no defense and no army, unfortunately for him. Okay, so that is another win for dM-Fire, putting SCC up, puts DM up 2-0 against SCC, and that's going to lead us into this third game, which is going to be between... Oh, it's actually the 2v2 next on Hannibal, the map I couldn't show off, and the map I've actually never seen before, because I never used to watch it. Well, I started watching Pro League after they already stopped 2v2, so this should be quite interesting. I'm kind of interested as well how I'm actually going to have to just put one name from each. But here we go. So this game is between a Zerg and a Protoss from the SCC side, Elmaster, MLTY. MLTY, the guy from the first game. What we'll do is we'll put them down as Zerg. So we do have Elmaster and MLTY. So one thing to note as well is, as you can tell, MLTY was definitely off racing in the first game. He was playing Terran, and then on dM-Fire's side we do have Xenosky or Xenosky with a cool name, and we do have Anyone, who is a Zerg player. Anyone sounds like a pro gamer name. Like, if you were to tell me the guy's name was Anyone, I would just assume he was some kind of ex-Pro League player, because that's such a Korean, like, StarCraft name. But they will be a Protoss Zerg as well. So we do see a Protoss Zerg mirror in this game, and let's get the replay loaded up. Oh, why does it keep loading the campaign? This is crazy. I'm definitely not clicking on the campaign. Doesn't matter though, the campaign's cool. I've not played through it in ages though. I need to play through it at some point. But let's move straight into the third set. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is DM are the red players and the purple player. So we do have a return of Sausage. It looks like someone actually subbed out and came back in. Looks like they're actually using chat to their advantage. I think Zeldaran and MLTY would have been sat on Discord with each other, because I know I've seen them use voice chat before. Let's just put Sausage there. We'll set the colours to the main colours of the two teams. So we do have red and yellow. That makes it nice and easy to see. There are... Okay, my overlay doesn't support 2v2, that's fine. But we do see in the bottom right, or bottom position, we do have DM Sausage with his teammate up in the top middle, Xenosky. Then over here on the left, we do have SCC's MLTY. And of course that leaves on the right side SCC's Zeldaran. Actually off racing as Protoss this game. It looks like a couple of people actually had to sub in. Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting learning experience for me. I don't actually play 2v2, and I've never played 2v2 as a matter of fact, so this should be quite fun. I've seen a few games of 2v2 in Pro League. That was pretty fun. I saw more ASL team battle, but we do see the spawning pool will most likely be coming up for both Zerg players. It looks like, so that is Sausage. So MLTY's spawning pool is a lot quicker. How many drones has each Zerg player got? I know that will likely make a difference. Looks like they're on... looks like MLTY may have got an extra drone after he got the spawning pool, delaying the Overlord for as long as possible. Xenosky calling out the 9 pool. I can't read Peruvian. I imagine he's saying get gas. but we do see 2 gates coming out from Xenosky in the top position, and over in a similar fashion with Zeldaran, we do see the 2 gates. 2v2 is very, very, very confusing. Like, it's very much about early aggression. We see the hatchery in the main for Sausage. What is SCC-MLT doing? Melty. I'm gonna call him Melty. He's actually sending his firstlings across the map. It looks like, in a strange turn of events, the later spawning pool may end up hurting him. He might not even be able to get the lings out to the ramp in time, so this could be a very quick loss. It looks like the lings do get out, but there's just so many lings more for MLTY, but it looks like the other lings have come back to reinforce. MLTY actually has a good position, but it's just not good enough. The rally from Sausage puts his lings in a very good position here, actually, and they're going to be able to hold the ramp. Meanwhile, it looks like we do see a Zealot and a Probe going out for both Protoss players. Actually, Zeldaran skipping the Zealot, or the Probe even, is going to send 2 Zealots. There is an Overlord in the base, so it looks like he is just going to stick with Zealots for a while, and so is Xenosky. I mean, Sausage has enough lings now that he can realistically defend. It looks like in they're actually going to swap targets and try and go for the Protoss player. MLTY doesn't really have that many lings. A lot of them are back defending. I didn't see how many drones that Zealot got, but I think he got about 4 drones. Oh, actually, MLTY is pulling all his workers. They're going all in. Has he got anyone mining? He's got 3 workers mining, so this isn't quite an all-in. He will still be able to pull back, but it looks like both of them are going to go full ham on Xenosky up here in the top middle position. Interesting choice, given how powerful Zealots are. We actually see Sausage going for a massive counter-attack. I think H must stand for help, but I don't think Sausage needs to. He's going to be able to get all the drones, and I think Melty might actually die here. There's so many Zealots on the ramp for Xenosky. Sausage is actually telling him to sack probes, but I don't think he needs to. Or maybe that's just pull probes. But Zeldaran and Melty, after poor Melty loses all his drones, does pull out. SCC not showing a very strong 2v2. SCC-A will be casted tomorrow, and it will be casted by none other than Sale, who is in chat, so if you have any questions about that, you can ask that. Now, I think they said we don't cast the other 2 games, but I'm going to try and load up the next game anyway, and see what happens, because that is on Neo Medusa. It is a TVZ, actually. It's a TVP between Q8D and Mikami, so that should be pretty fun. Once again, we see a win. That actually wins the series for DM there. SCC-B even, showing that at least this week they didn't, or in week 3 they didn't have a very good showing, but there's a lot more weeks to go in the tournament. I'm not sure how well they did in the previous 2 weeks, but they're putting up a good fight. I know Mikami especially, who has now actually been banned from the tournament after getting an argument with Psionic Reaver, has actually been putting in a lot of practice, so unfortunately he won't be able to play on their roster again, but I do see the SCC people playing quite a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to see if we can load up Game 4. I don't know if it was played, I don't know if this was the game that Mikami got banned for, but we'll soon find out. It is going to be a Protoss player versus a Terran player, Mikami, on Neo Medusa. So let's see if we can head into this game. No, okay, that's what happens. When I alt tab, it puts me on Protoss. Right, that's it. It's telling me to play Protoss now. Right, let's see if this set actually exists. No, it doesn't. So, unfortunately, we won't be watching Mikami versus QAD. I imagine that was actually the map that screwed over Mikami, and pretty much yeah, I guess that was the game he was banned for. Unfortunately for me as well, I don't actually have any other games to cast today. That was a lot quicker than I thought it was. That was about half an hour overall. But if you do want some more PATL goodness, PATL will be back tomorrow with Sale hosting. So Sale is going to cast the SCC-A and SCC-C matches, and they will be playing against, let's double check, so SCC-A will be playing against NASB, and SCC-C will be playing against DM-Ice, so the other DM team, and the other NAS team. I imagine there's a NAS-A. NAS-A this week were playing against SKA. Of course, there are going to be other casts throughout the week, so keep an eye on the thread, and I will be back. Yeah, so SCC-B, as Faust likely said, or rightfully said, dM-Fire are actually a really good team. Well, I've played against QAD on ladder once. He was pretty good. We also have Sausage, I'm not too sure about. I still don't know if that's his name. I hope he doesn't mind the fact I've been calling him Sausage, because I feel kind of bad. Yeah, so Xenosky's pretty good as well. Anyone, most likely some kind of a Korean pro gamer smurf because of the name. And then the ace match obviously didn't get played, but I mean SCC-B, pretty decent team as well, so don't write them out for the rest of the tournament. There are of course 3 SCC teams in the Pan American Team League. You do have SCC-A, SCC-B and SCC-C. So once again, tune in tomorrow on Sale Stream for DM-Ice versus SCC-C, where you will see quite a good variety of games. And then of course you have SCC-A versus NASB, and that's also going to be a fairly interesting game as well. We'll see if Faust and Taitu can actually put a better performance in this week for their 2v2. I mean, they were doing a... yeah, Sale, it's like completely over. That's it. There was 3 games, and I only picked 1 series to cast because everyone else had already picked them. So, yeah, just to give you a little bit of background quickly, there's actually a large group of people who want to cast this, so they're... Okay, Gorgonoth will be casting. I'm not sure of the time. I can cast another, I guess. Okay, fine. What I'll do is I'll jump on and I'll download another one. That's cool. I suppose I've only been casting for half hour, which isn't very much. Let's just go get a download link. What I'm going to do is, because Faust is here... no, you're going to cast that tomorrow. Cast Heroes EVPs. Okay, Eriador, I'm actually going to download another series. I'm not going to spoil SCCA's game, because Sale's going to be casting that tomorrow. Oh, Sale's actually casting 3 series, wow. He just got all of them. He's like, no, I'm going to gobble them all up. Where is Psionic Reaver's chat with me? Here we go, let's bring up the caster communication Google Docs, which is pretty cool. Okay, it's in week 2, so it is week 3 we're going to be watching. Let's see who else there is to cast. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, I can see where Sale has taken 3 of the series, and I think I understand why. 3 best of 5s doesn't take very long. But there is, of course, Gorgonoth, Rise, and Beta, who have also signed up to cast something. What I'm actually going to do is I am technically a clan leader in this, even though I can't play because I'm an Englishman. I'm going to cast Vex's game this week. Vex were playing against Soul, and I actually do not know the results of that series. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember if all the games were played. Okay, I won't do Vex versus Soul, because looking at my team chat, it didn't go, like, it wasn't the fact that it didn't go well, we didn't have enough people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take eMg versus WCE. Gorgonoth has already casted it, but you know what? That's fine. We'll do that. I know people on eMg, so it should be pretty good. Right, so we do have, I just need to download the actual folder, which is here. And what we can do is, once that's downloaded, hopefully I can actually see my desktop from here, because it'll be on my desktop. Okay, let's move this over to my replay folder, which I have super nicely actually arranged so I can tell what is going on in there. It was a complete mess before. Let's pop this in maps. Now hopefully, when I go up one level, it'll be there. But it's not, so let's try and go back in. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well is we will see the same maps, so I'm not going to do anything crazy with that. I'm just going to keep that how it is. What I need to do is look at the lineups for week 3 as well, so I can have a look at who's playing in this. We've actually got quite a lot of good players on both sides. Just to spoil what the first game is actually eMg's Castle, who was a pretty strong C+, I think he even got B- at the end of IC Cup, Protoss player. I know he's just come back out of retirement. And we also have Kawaii Rice, who is actually probably, if I was thinking back, he is the reason why I got into Japanese music, which is kind of crazy. But we will have, on the top side as Team 1, we will have WCE, I think the name is, yes it is. And then we'll have, at the bottom, good old eMg. eMg have been around for absolutely forever, like, I've seen them so many times. But it looks like that hasn't actually loaded. Yes it has, there we go. Set 1, we are going back to Sin Peaks. Let's go, what? I just loaded the wrong replay. Don't look. Whatever you do, don't look. Right, okay. Oh my god, the campaign again. No! No! Right, load replay, there we go. We got it this time. We're going in eMg set 1 this time. We're going straight into set 1. We're not going straight to set 5. Looks like we've got a set 5, everyone. But yeah, we do have, in the top position, eMg's Castle. And then of course, in the opposite end of the spectrum, in the Peach, we do actually have, I'm going to show him in just a second. I've not seen Peach in this in ages. Yeah, down here in the bottom left position, we do have Kawaii Rice, the WCE Terran. I just want to check that my overlay is actually reset properly, and apparently not. That's interesting. That's not updated. Huh. I'm actually going to pause the replay quickly just so I can fix this, because I find it very strange that that's happened. It's almost like it's not updated, but okay, so in the top right we do have MLTY in the teal. Not MLTY, he was the first game. We have Castle, and then in the bottom left, in the Peach, we do have Kawaii Rice. Let's just check if this... Yeah, okay, it's updated now. I'm not entirely sure why it didn't happen last time, and why, according to my stream, it's still broken. There we go. Right, cool. Let's get this underway. This is a TVP, the first TVP of the day we've seen. We've seen... What have we seen, actually? We've seen 2 TVCs and a 2v2, with 2 ZP compositions. So we do see Kawaii Rice in the bottom corner, just doing the usual, building his depot. We don't see anything crazy coming from... Oh, actually, we do. There's a pylon. There's a proxy pylon here. Look at this. We're going to see proxy gates on game 1. Castle actually opening with a cheese. This is a very strong cheese on Baekdu. Like, you probably wouldn't scout in that direction. I mean, he has to be a little bit suspicious that the pylon, the probe did actually come in so early. There's some crazy cool stuff from Faust and Eriador in the chat. Keeping up, we do see Kawaii Rice actually going for a really nice wall off here. This is like the perfect wall off to deal with proxy gateway as well. Just look at this, the Zealot type wall there, the Zealots can't get in through there. They're going to have to go the whole way around to kill the Marines. And is this SCV going to find it? The SCV is. The SCV finds this straight away. And this is going to put Kawaii Rice in an incredible position at the start of this game. He has the perfect scouting information, but look at this. Another pylon in the main, scouted almost immediately. What would Castle have actually built on that? That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why you would actually build the well, he needs to be careful. He needs to get this probe away. He's trying to get the SCV build in the bunker, but he's going to lose the probe. The probe goes down, And the probe is so important in this rush, but this is just going to be defended absolutely perfectly. You need to get the Marine in, but look at this, the bunker's finished, there is a Zealot type wall. The only thing the Zealot can really try and do is come in here, but it will get shot by the bunker as it comes in. Oh no, look at this. Castle actually looping the entire way around the minerals, is going to come in and hit this left side mineral. These Marines are very exposed. He can't stay fighting here too long. He's actually attacking the supply depot at the front. And here we go. So a good SCV surround. He needs to pull back the damaged SCVs if he can. There are 2 Zealots here. He needs to repair this bunker or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But I mean, still, we have this bunker up. There are SCVs repairing this. It's kind of funny how only 1 SCV can fit to repair that. Not even opting to repair it fully. Now going back, or pulling out of gas again, knowing that he mainly just needs Marines. But there's so many Zealots here, he needs to be really careful. He needs to pull and repair this. If the Zealots get through here, he's going to have a real bad time trying to defend. He gets 2 SCVs at the front. But look how much trouble Kawhi Rice is now going to be in. He's supply blocked. There is 4 Zealots in his mineral line, and 2 of the Marines have gone down. Another one comes down just as spawns. It couldn't actually fit through there for some reason. And these Zealots are just going to do so much damage. Building a wall there, actually, really clever move. Would like to see another depot there, but he can't really afford it. Even rebuilding this wall. Look at this, he's just trying to block with the SCVs. The Zealots kind of low on health. This one especially has no shield. Only a couple of auto attacks away from death. But look at these Zealots, it's going to be so hard to kill them with just Marines. Do we have a Vulture coming out? We do finally see a Vulture. I think this was a little late, but that supply block from losing that depot really hurting him there. Another Zealot actually moves in, runs straight into the bunker. Not a very good play here, but he is blocking the Marine. He doesn't get the Marine though. Look at this. He can just repair. Oh yeah, you practice with me and beat me over and over again. But you'll see that tomorrow. Faust actually, I'm just saying, look forward to Faust 1v1 tomorrow, because it's going to be a lot of fun. But we do see, finally, the Zealots have been cleaned up. We see 2 gates out the front still, but look at this. This Vulture could actually kill Castle if he doesn't have a unit back to defend. The problem... oh no. No! Kawhi Rice hasn't played on this map in either a very long time or not realised, but there we go. Realising a little bit quicker than poor MLTY did in the first game. Is going to be able to get his Vulture around a little bit quicker. He's not going to be able to beat the Zealot up, so he's not going to be able to get up the ramp. He will be able to harass this though. If he can actually get past, he's going to do so much damage, but look at this. There's another Zealot in the main, just moving them in one by one. I mean, I don't even know what this... oh, this Marine's attacking the thing, but this is the main point of contention right now. If this Zealot goes down, there is no Dragoon, there is actually no units in this base, but look at this. The luckiest Zealot with the high ground. Isn't USA enough for PATL? There is the South Americas as well, and Canada. But Kawhi Rice needs to move in with this Vulture. He could do so much damage if he just moves in now. There's absolutely nothing defending. Look at this, a completely empty probe line, but he's stuck defending against these Zealots at the back. And there's now 2 Dragoons in his base. If he just moved this behind the mineral line, it looks like he's going to do it now. But man, he could have killed so many probes. Okay, so this is a really bad situation for poor Castle to be in. He does have the 2 Dragoons here, which could do so much damage, but with 2 tanks out, I think he could be fine. And unfortunately for Kawhi Rice, because he didn't go behind the minerals, and didn't manage to look at the Vulture where he was too busy microing against these Dragoons, he does in fact lose the Vulture without doing too much damage. Yeah, oh, I see what you mean. Kix isn't USA enough for PATL. Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm too British to play, and he wasn't playing against my team. If he was playing against my team, I wouldn't have practiced with him. But it was on a time, well, my TVZ is still struggling, but I just wanted to get as much TVZ practice as possible. But back to this game, we see him being very bold with his first 3 tanks, Does kill one Dragoon, but there's just, oh man, there's going to be so many Dragoons coming out these gateways. He needs to be very careful. This back tank is very low, but he does manage to pull up the ramp. And some very nice micro there by Castle is going to clear out at least one of the tanks, and that other one is going to have to go back to be repaired. So this is going to slow this push down quite a lot. Of course, Kawaii Rice is still only on one base himself. He's going to actually have to siege at the top of his ramp, and this is actually going to block his other units, so he can't even go down and attack. Looks like the barracks tried to move out and be clever, but it looks like he's going to try and siege push out towards his natural expansion. The command center is going up, and it doesn't look like Castle has any intention of taking a Nexus anytime soon. Oh no, we see him swarming in with 4 Dragoons, nicely spread. Can he kill this tank? The front tank does go down. Is he going to be able to get up the ramp? The Vulture getting really lucky with the high ground mechanic. There's nothing behind it to shoot. And he's actually going to be able to hold against those 4 Dragoons. The other Dragoon is going to be able to fall back. And you what, mate? Yeah, I don't think I'd want to become a state to the US, to be honest. I'm quite happy knowing there's no guns, like, around, really. But that's a political discussion that I want to keep out of my cast, because I could talk about that for ages. And my voice is going to die enough already. Kawaii Rice very cleverly using 2 SCVs to repair his damaged units. Very important to be very, very... you need to be as... I'm trying to think of a good way of putting this, but you need to be as least wasteful as possible in PvP. The more tanks you lose, the worse position you're in. And even any vultures you lose, if you don't do any damage with them, you're gonna have a bad day. But it looks like this Dragoon actually did get stuck on this bit of landmass. He's gonna move around. He doesn't have really that many Dragoons. He's not gonna be able to save these gateways. There's just not enough down here to really deal with it. Finally, he is gonna take his natural expansion. Meanwhile, in his main, he's gonna have to add another 2 gateways to keep up. Okay, and then back in Castle's base, he is still getting ready to take that natural expansion. There is now 4 tanks out the front. The gateways have now been cleaned up. There's going to be no way that Castle is going to be able to build anything out of this in time. And he is going to safely be able to take his natural expansion, even using this Vulture to push up. These 2 Dragoons actually ran away from a single Vulture. That is the pushing power of Kawaii Rice in this game so far. Castle cannot lose any of his units right now. He's going to struggle as it is against a big push coming out of Kawaii Rice. One thing to note, one map feature I pointed out before, you do have this high ground pod. Look how close it is to your Nexus. That, I believe, if you siege up there, can actually hit the Nexus. Of course, you do need to move to the right and move up, and then go this way, but it still works pretty well. He is actually going to go up to the rover. Wouldn't be surprised to see observers at this point. Where he lost that pylon, it actually supply blocked him. He's still supply blocked now, so Castle not really preparing for this well enough. Knowing he was going to lose that pylon, he should have had another pylon there, maybe showing a little bit of rust. I mean, you can see his money's going up so high. One thing Kawaii Rice is doing, which is quite good, is he is sitting on top of this ramp. This is a very, very popular third to take. Of course, if you look at the entire map, there is actually a third here, which you can actually pylon wall, so it's quite useful as well. But this would normally be the pushing path that Terran wants to take. They want to control this high ground pod. Kawaii Rice now moving up to his 4 factories. Will we see him add on a 5th, or is he just going to try and do a really strong push with his 4 factories? I mean, he does already have 6 tanks, and that's a good amount of pushing power to have against a Protoss who is only on currently 2 gates. Now, unfortunately for Kawaii Rice, he doesn't have any scanners yet. I don't even think he has an academy. I can't see it being built anywhere either. He does have the turrets very nicely positioned to try and fend off DTs and also try and fend off Reavers, but he really does need more than that for Reavers. You really need a ring. He's going for, I would say, a very fantasy style push actually, sticking to 3 no add-ons. Actually, he's not using this factory yet, he needs to be careful. Not showing the perfect macro at the moment, but he's still in a good position. He's actually up by 13 supply to Castle's eMg's Castle even. Castle actually now going up to 3 gates, and not really being able to build out of all of them, because getting supply blocked again, he needs to really just put down a load of pylons, I think. because he's going to find himself having a lot of trouble against this push. There's just... Okay, so there's 7 tanks at the moment, but every moment that passes, there's actually 8 tanks now. Every moment that passes, there's going to be more and more tanks added on. Kawaii Rice actually going up to 6 factories against only 3 gateways. Not going to be Castle is going to be in a very dire situation if he can't get enough units to defend. Actually opting to try and get a 3rd base. Really... Wait... His race is 75. Okay, I need to update that, otherwise I can't save the score. But yeah, so we do see very small amounts of units trying to move out and clear some mines. But look at this, he split his units to cover both areas, but there's not really enough units to cover either of them. These Dragoons are actually going to move down and try and meet the other units on this high ground pod, but of course he can just move out over here and go the long way. Which is quite a good way to push as well. Looks like he's just checking around with all of his observers. Is he going to go for some kind of attack here? I don't think this is very wise. It looks like Kawaii Rice is actually going to move across the map. He has so many units right now that he could be caught blindsided by this counterattack. No, he can't. He's actually got a mine there, nicely placed, and it looks like the units are actually going to dodge each other here, because there is no way for these 2 armies to get through the middle of the map to each other. There's going to be a big fight on top of this, and this could actually decide the outcome of the game, but there's so many tanks. There's barely any Dragoons, only 3 gateways worth of Dragoons. Need to have another look here. It looks like Kawaii Rice is actually just going to remove here. There's just so many more units for the Terran army. And I'm not sure that Castle's going to be able to hold on. He's going to need some amazing micro here. And these Zealots need to tank a lot of damage, but there's so many Vultures out in front. The 6 factory push is fully in gear. The tanks are actually on low ground, so it's going to benefit the Dragoons a little bit. But look how hard it's going to be for Castle to actually reinforce this. He's going to have to send units either all the way around, which is a very long path, or he's going to have to come up here past this siege tank fire. Really good positioning here by Kawaii Rice, actually adding the turret there as well, just to be safe. And the vulture mines are going to allow him to slowly push up. Even this observer being taken out by this really well placed turret. And Castle is backed into a corner. He's going to have to try and fight. He can't even leave this corner of the map now. He's completely trapped, surrounded on all sides. The tank is going to push forward. Is he going to repair this tank? Repairing this tank would be really cool. But it looks like he's a little bit too preoccupied by building turrets. Castle, knowing he doesn't have a chance, is actually just going to pull everything away. I like being able to reveal the map and seeing that, wow, the Protoss wasn't here all along. Kawaii Rice in the first game taking a very dominating position. One thing that's kind of interesting, I don't know if I can do it, like sometimes you can actually select the units that are no longer there, which is really weird. Let's say for example I unreveal the map. I think it only works when units are here, but yeah, like for instance, I mean this is you can only do this in replays, right? So this is Castle's vision. Look what I can do. So the command center should be around here. Okay, I think they patched it. Before, you could actually select the buildings that weren't there. Okay, that's cool. So they actually fixed that bug. You couldn't use it in-game, but it was still a pretty good bug to sort of use in a replay sense, because you could sort of see what's going on without needing to see anything. Okay, so let's just set the colors randomly. I fixed Kawaii Rice's race. At least I thought I did, but apparently he's still 75. My top overlay is not acting very nicely here. Okay, there we go. That's actually back to normal. So we do see Kawaii Rice taking the first game for WCE. Yes, I did get the name right, that was close. And we are going to move on now to the second game, which will in fact be on, so it's on Destination. Who are the players? Thank you very much for the follow. I can't see your name at the moment, but we are going to move on to a PVZ first of the day between eMg's AMC and WCE's Striker, who is in fact a Zerg player. So WCE is the Zerg player in the top left, and then of course we do have AMC, the eMg Protoss. Protoss being order of the day here for eMg so far. We're just going to update the overlay. I don't think the overlay likes working with teams. I do have a better system for teams, but it's based entirely on a database which doesn't have any data at the moment for this. So let's load into the next replay. It looks like I nearly clicked on the campaign again, but I saved it. We didn't see the Protoss campaign start again, that's cool. Right, so we're going to move on to Destination. Looks like Vortex either hosted or did play in this game. Vortex is of course another P. So yeah, it looks like Vortex actually subbed out here for his teammate, unless Vortex is AMC. I'm not sure if anyone from the eMg are in the chat who can confirm, but we do in fact see the blue Protoss in the 12 o'clock position. Vortex, eMg. Okay, and in the bottom middle, this is actually a little bit easier when you've got Co-caster, but in the bottom middle we do see the Zerg WC's Striker. So that is 6 and 11, 5 and 11 even. I'm just going to reset the colours again, just so that's all sorted. Okay, so we don't see anything out of the ordinary. Castle obviously going for a very interesting build. Looks like Vortex is going to go straight into a 1 gateway expand. We could see a Forge Fast expand off this actually. Very good place to wall off. Destination, much like Blue Storm, is a bit awkward to wall as Protoss because you can't really get a full wall. You have to sort of wall this bit and then use your Nexus as part of the wall as well. We see a lot of Zergs trying to abuse that later. Why is there a burrowed Zergling in the Protoss main? Let's have a look at that. So there is. Look at that. Zerg with the map hacks, throwing up that burrowed Zergling at the very start of the game. Looks like, interestingly enough, Vortex is moving around the back of the bases here. Is he going to do something sneaky? One interesting thing you can do here is actually mine out the minerals. I think he's actually going to do it, and then you can just slip Zealots right in the back. This is a really clever play from him to start off. We do see the Ursidon looking like the same colour as Vortex on the map. I'm going to change them to... wait. Yeah, red and yellow on the minimap, that works. Allied colours. So we do see... okay, that makes it a little bit too confusing, because I said they were green and blue, and yeah. So we do see the Forge Fast expand. I was in fact incorrect. My PvZ build knowledge is not great, but we do see a overpool. We do... oh no, actually no, we see a 12 hatch. And an 11 pool. The Overlord was built. Yeah, the hatchery came out. Wait, no, that was definitely an overpool into a 12 hatch. My bad, yeah, that hatchery just went up. So we do in fact see the Zerg player will get a good scout on this. He actually pulled his drone away knowing that the cannon's actually going to start up soon. Very, very, very standard openings from both players right now. We see the Nexus going up. He's going to keep adding probes. Eventually we'll see him get a gateway to finish off this wall. This is actually a really well placed wall, by the way. It's going to be very hard. He needs to put another building there, otherwise the Lings will just get straight up to the cannon though. Looks like in that fashion, Striker is actually going to move the Lings directly across the map. We see another burrowed Ling there. Obviously not real burrowed Lings, by the way. It's just some really cool little potholes in the map. These Lings aren't really going to be able to do anything. They're going to push in. They're not even actually going to be able to get up to the cannon. And I'm not sure, maybe you can't fit the gateway there. I guess you can't fit the gateway there, but he's going to have to wall off with a probe until he can get a Zealot. And that's all fine, all well and good. The Zerg in a good position. Actually going to go straight for a third base. 3 hatches are common opening, and usually you can just go straight for that third base, especially if they're going for Forge Fast expand. Against Gateway expand, it's a little bit more dangerous, and you're more likely to build the hatchery, say for example here, to help wall off against the Zealots, but he knows there's going to be no early Zealots coming at him. Actually opting to add a second cannon back here. Not really sure I agree with the placement of this, but I guess later it could actually help defend against mutas, so not too bad from him. Going up to his gas, wouldn't surprise me to see the cybernetic score pretty quickly from here. We should probably see that now actually, unless he's going for third base, but that would be all kinds of insane. He doesn't actually have a pylon in his main. But yeah, there we go, the cybernetic score is coming up, and we'll likely see him go into Stargate. Stargate is the most common follow-up to this. You get the Corsairs, try and do as much damage as you can to the Overlords, and the Zerg just going to be quite content, droning up, heading straight up to Lair. We're not going to see any form of crazy 3-hatch Hydra all in without Lair. Looks like Little Chava is a little bit disappointed in that cannon as well, but look at that, did actually kill a Ling, so worth it in the end. The Cybernex core is just finishing. Looks like he is getting the pylon in his main. Without that, he wouldn't actually be able to really add any extra buildings over here without severely walling himself in. So he needs to be a bit careful. He's going to have to wait for this pylon. I often wonder if this pylon's a little bit late, because he could have had a Stargate building already. Looks like, will we see the Stargate or will we see the Robo? There we go, there's the Stargate. And look how much money he had just from the fact this pylon was a little bit delayed. And we will see the Citadel going up as well. Looks like the Overlord just about misses that. Looks like the replay pauses, and then you can't see what he's seen anyway, so no point in changing the vision. Doesn't work like in OBS, but that's fine. Actually, adding a pylon behind the minerals is useful, especially if they go Mutalisks. Meanwhile, it looks like he is going Spire at least, so we will at least see some Scourge, but it is very possible he could go into Mutalisk as well, adding his 4th hatchery. Is he adding a 5th hatchery over here? It's a very common tactic to actually add the hatchery about here, and then you have some Sunkens, and pretty much Zealots can't really do any damage. He's finally going to move out with the Zealots. There aren't really that many Zerglings, so he should actually be able to push straight across the map here. Is he going to be able to find some damage? It looks like no. He's going to fall back, try and wait for his Zealot buddies to come out. 3 Zealots are obviously better than 2, and he doesn't really have any vision on the map whatsoever. The very important aspect of ZVP or PvZ, like, I don't play Protoss, but one thing you'll always note is Protoss need to keep their probe alive in the Zerg space for as long as humanly possible. If you don't have that map vision, you just don't know what's going on until your Corsairs get over there. Looks like that first Corsair is going to come out. I'm not sure I agree with killing this Overlord right away. I think it would have been better for him to actually send that across to Scout, and then he'd at least know what was going on, but I guess he does want to deny the Zerg vision of what's going on. He does have the Citadel upgrading. One thing to note with Protoss buildings, other than the Forge and the Stargate, you can't really see what they're doing. The Cybernex core, of course, spins, but you can never see what's building in the gateway, for instance. Okay, so we do see the 4 Zealots moving out. Not too many Lings to defend. We do actually see that 5th hatchery come. Oh no, that's the 4th hatchery still. But there we go. There we have that 5th hatchery and that nice evolution chamber block. That's going to create not a Zealot type or Ling type wall, but it's going to funnel them around, and it's going to allow the Sunken Colony at the front to do its work. But it's not finished yet. These Zealots are going to run in. They're going to run straight past the evolution chamber wall. Oh, he's actually going to abuse the fact that the mineral's gone. There we go, he's going to try and get in. Leg speed should actually finish. Leg speed is finished now. He's going to turn and try and fight. He should just run straight for the main. And there we go. Another Zealot actually tries to go in the front, but does get taken down. But look at this. Leaving an Overlord there. He's going to know exactly what's going on. He can't break up the ramp. He's not even killed any Lings. He's not attacking anything. These Zealots are going to go down. He only kills 2 Lings for 4 Zealots. That is not a good trade you want to make as a Protoss player. Looks like he's trying to send more Zealots out here. Another phase in PvZ that you'll often see is there'll be a point where the Zerg kind of has to defend for a little bit while the Protoss just sends as many Zealots around as they can, just trying to find any form of damage. But these Hydras, at least 3 of them are on the high ground. They're going to move down. They're going to see the Zealots. Oh, one of them gets caught. That's a really nice surround there by the Zealots. He's going to try and go past again. I'm not sure if I really agree with this good. He's actually going to go and try and target down this Sunken. But look how many Hydralisks are coming out. We are going to see 5 Hash Hydra from the Zerg player. And he's just throwing Zealots away. He does have +1 attack, so they are going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. But that Zealot is going to lose its life. And meanwhile, the Zerg is just going to keep adding on more and more Hydralisks and push at the front. One Zealot actually gets into the main, doesn't kill a single drone, nearly dies. So, I mean, he does get 1 drone there. Where is the defense? There's no reaction to this at all. Actually opting just to go straight across the map. One of the drones mining, actually bugging out the Zealot. Finally, he pulls the drones away. That Zealot got a nice trade, 3 drones for just his life. But what is he going to be able to do against this huge Hydralisk force outside the base? There's only 1 cannon, and there's no Templar yet. I don't, like, the Templar Archives is there, but Storm isn't done. I think Striker is just going to mow straight down through Vortex's base. And with only 2 cannons badly positioned, there's going to be nothing to defend. Vortex being a little bit too over-aggressive with his Zealots and not really doing any damage. And Striker is just going to be able to take out this Natural Nexus. Is Vortex going to try and hold on? WC are in fact up a game in this series so far. We do see Vortex saying GG, sorry. I don't know who he's apologizing to. Maybe he's apologizing to his team watching this cast now. I'm not too sure. But Striker with an incredible 5-hatch Hydra, they're not really taking any damage to any of the Zealots, will manage to push through and take WCE up a series. Not up a series, up a set in the series. There we go. So we do see Striker taking that map win there, and that will put us on to the third map, which is going to be the 2v2 on Hannibal. So let me just try and figure out if I can make this fit in my overlay. But the next map coming up is a PZ, a Protoss Zerg, NGO and Jiria on Team EG, versus Cheese King and Lumix, a TBZ on Hannibal, or a TZ. So a TZ against a PZ. Interesting. So I'm going to put the first team as Protoss and the second team as Zerg on Hannibal, because I can't actually do it any differently. So what we'll do is we'll do eMg, no, that's actually WCE. So WCE is the Zerg players, and eMg are going to be the Protoss in this. Right, okay, let's load up this next replay. I'm not going to go into the campaign as well, because that would be an unfortunate unfortunate misclick again. So we are going to move on to Hannibal as our third game. Let's just check my overlay is definitely showing the right map, which it isn't. It looks like I'm a little bit far behind. I need to save the last game again. There we go. It was showing the wrong thing the whole time, wasn't it? Either way, that's cool. Right, we're going to move on to this 2v2. Okay, that's the fourth game again. Right. Let's go back again. Let's load the right replay. This is why I don't usually do stuff in single player, because you click the wrong thing and that's it. So set 3 on Hannibal. What the? No! It's not valid! What? Do we have anyone from eMg or WCE in the chat at all that could send me the replay? Because it looks like poor old Cheese King, his game isn't going to be casted. Unfortunate, but it looks like by the fact it went to a set 4 that eMg actually won. So eMg must have shown some cool 2v2. If I was to gather what happened, we did see a PZ versus a TZ. I have a feeling the Terran died really early just based on its 2v2. You should play out 2v2 for the first minute as a hype spoiler. Nice, Faust. Okay, so I'm going to give the win to eMg there. Gonna hit save. That should have actually put everything on the right map on the overlay. Yep, so the fourth map is actually going to be... the fourth map is going to be on Neo Medusa. Oh. Okay, so we do have Neo Medusa, which was IC Cup Medusa 2.2 on IC Cup, and that is going to be between the eMg Protoss, another eMg Protoss, versus the WC Protoss Ranged. I must say, Titan and Ranged also sound like they could be like B-teamers on a Pro League team. Seems very sensible. This is of course a 3-player map. Just to bring up the map slightly, it does have some really cool map features. Like, it was the first map to feature these sort of weird wraparound bases. This was actually perfected in Empire of the Sun. No, that's the other map. Neo Electric Circuit, which is in fact my favourite map of the entire game. This is all unbuildable, apart from a few dots in the middle, but that's not going to really come into it in PvP unless we see some crazy like proxy gate action. I think you can fit proxy gates somewhere around here. But yep, we're going to move straight into this game. It is actually set 4, and it is between Titan and Ranged, or Wands. Okay, I don't know if eMg have just subbed everyone, or they've just got different names in the thing, but we do see in the yellow, over here in the 3 o'clock position, the eMg Protoss Wands. and then in the bottom middle, well, this is more the 7 o'clock position. Okay, that's actually completely incorrect. That's cool, but we do have WCEs ranged. Just gonna set the colors again to update my overlay. There we go. So this is a PvP. If there's one matchup I know very little about, it's PvP. Like, PvP is the most confusing matchup for me, and it's going to be fun trying to learn while watching these two cool, fabulous Protoss players in the Pan American Team League. Fourth match of the second set I've casted today between eMg and WCE. Let's see how they play and how it goes. Okay, wait. Sale said, yes we are. Ah, he was speaking to Dan. Okay. The best PvP build is 12 next. Okay, I may not know much about PvP, but 12 next is definitely not the best build. I would say like any kind of eMg... I say eMg. What did I say eMg? Any kind of DT expand is pretty good, especially knowing that it's a pretty big coin flip of whether or not your opponent expands. Is he going to try and glitch his probe through the temple? No, he's just not sure of the pathing on this map. One thing to note about the pathing of this map, when you reveal the entire map, as I showed this area before, if you just click in the wrong place, the worker will just get stuck going around like this. Kind of unfortunate. But in the bases we do see the gas coming up for ranged off of the one gateway, going straight into the Cybernetics core, opting to skip that first zealot. Meanwhile, Wands is going to get his zealot before core. He did get a slightly... wait, 4960 and 4944. So wait, this is... yeah, so it looks like they got the gas on the same time, but delaying his core ever so slightly to get that extra zealot, trying to do a little bit of harass damage. Zealots, of course, are pretty good in engagements with Dragoons, not so much for the damage they do, more the fact they soak a hit from another Dragoon, and being one Dragoon behind isn't a death blow that it could be. I mean, we do see the second gateway coming up a lot earlier for range down here in the bottom left, and finally now we do see that in the right position. Wands is adding his second gateway as well. Don't post a link about pawns. Okay, so we are in the fourth set. If you've just tuned in, hopefully that'll be obvious from my overlay. We are in Neo Medusa, this is a PvP. We do see both players going for the fairly standard 2-gate goon. Is he attacking his own probe? I think he just killed his own probe. Or was that the enemy probe? That must have been the enemy probe, right? There was no way he shot his own probe down, that would be kind of crazy. Okay, so good hold there, didn't lose too many probes. Actually now up to just over 12 probes, looks about 13 probes in the mineral line. Wands, of course, has only lost one probe, but is still even on probes, so the game is fairly even at this point. Both of them are now going to start massing Dragoons. The Zealot does go down, so his early unit advantage is actually going to start to dwindle, and here is where we're going to... wait, Range doesn't even know where Castle is at the moment. Not Castle, Wands. Yeah, he actually doesn't know where his opponent spawned, so he's attacking the wrong base right now with more of his Dragoons. He's not going to be very happy when he walks across here, finds the 3 Dragoons. If he's not careful, he could actually lose this Dragoon here in the middle of the map. That's actually going to be really bad for him. He needs to stop his Dragoon now. Luckily for him, he does oh, is he going to move forward? No, he does pull back. He's going to have to bring his Dragoons together. If he moves in there and loses that one Dragoon there, he's going to be in a pretty bad position. We do see the robotics facility actually going up full ranged. Is on 255 health, and we see the robotics facility once again ever so slightly behind from Wands. Wands tech has been ever so slightly behind this entire time, but we do see a move out of the Dragoons. Is range finished? Range is 3/4 of the way done for him. It looks like ranged actually has range, which is kind of good considering it's his name. He's doing some really nice target fire. He needs to pull back the weakened Dragoons. but there's not really too much micro going on here. A fairly even trade, trading 2 Dragoons for 2, but there we go. There is the blow that turns the tide of this battle, actually taking out an extra Dragoon compared to his due to range, but with the rally of Wands there being so close, range can't actually push the advantage there. He's going to have to pull back. It looks like that was a Dragoon checking for maybe a building, or maybe just misrallied. Maybe not wanting to rally, because sometimes if you rally outside your base, all of your units will run all the way around there. It looks like he will place down his Nexus. Did he actually send it? He sent a second probe to build the Nexus, and a second probe to build the pylon. That's kind of an interesting choice. We do see a little bit of an engagement at the front. He's actually baited one of these Dragoons out. Luckily enough, Wands pulls that back at the time, back at the right place. But look, here we go. Here's another Dragoon battle. He needs to be very careful. Both players now have range. The advantage that ranged had has now gone, and he's going to have to fall back. And I accidentally just moved my mouse upwards while trying to sit up straight. But there we go. We do see him now on the 2 gates. The robotic support bay is actually finished for both players. They are going into Reavers. Looks like rather than opting for the shuttle first, Ranged actually went for the Reaver first, and is now going for the Reaver. Sorry, he went for the Reaver first, and we'll have to get the shuttle afterwards. Both of them should come out around the same time. But one thing to, like, the one difference here, you see that Wands has actually put his spotting pylon a little bit further up from the minerals, so technically he's got vision of this area, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But you can technically sneak a shuttle down here and drop the Reavers off here, and they can do so much damage. Meanwhile, it looks like Ranged has actually put his spotting pylon directly above the center middle. He's going to have a little less peripheral vision, but yeah, he's going to have less peripheral vision. It looks like he's actually going to add another spotting pylon up here. Very good choice. One thing to note is Ranged has actually got his Nexus up, and it started to mine. His tech advantage, well, he didn't have a tech advantage, but here we go. The Reaver first may actually help Ranged here. Is he going into a second Reaver? Yes, he is. He's going to waddle 2 Reavers over here. He needs to defend this Nexus. This is a massive point of contention in this map. There's not a very good... Oh, the first Reaver Scarab actually goes down. Does he get another one? He does, but the Reaver comes out for range. This is going to be such a tense battle, but a huge Scarab goes off on 3 of the Reavers. 3 Dragoons. Can he get the shot? No, he can't. The Reaver's just doing so much damage. A shield barrier here is not going to help. There are 5 Dragoons at his Nexus and a Reaver in the shuttle. 4 Dragoons move up. 1 goes straight down. Another Reaver has finally spawned. There is going to be a moment of Reaver battles, but look at that awesome Scarab taking out 3 Dragoons. It looks like one Ranged may actually be able to stabilize, only just. But with the rally coming in from Wands, you can see the Dragoons moving across the map here. Looks like Wands is actually going to into his own Nexus as well. These Dragoons are so low health, he needs to be so careful. He can't afford to lose any more units. Oh, what the hell was that noise? That was weird. But it looks like this Dragoon's going to move in, see what's going on. I guess that was the shield battery noise. It must have been. I've never heard that noise, I'm fairly certain. I must have done at some point, but no one ever uses shield batteries outside of PvP, so I wouldn't have heard it in game. More on a cast. Yeah, like, Faust, you gotta admit, who builds a shield battery in PvP? Like, no one. That's why I wouldn't know it. It looks like my phone's going, but I said to the person that I would call them when I was done, so they can wait for a little bit. We do see Wands actually taking a position outside of ranged base. You lost to a shield barrier. Oh, I've seen that game. I've actually seen that game. It's where you failed to bust up the ramp, isn't it? That's why I need Torch from 12 next games. Okay, so we do see the Reaver advantage, I believe. Yeah, so we do see a Reaver advantage actually for ranged here. He does have this tight choke he can hold as well. He's not going to have a very good concave with his Dragoons, but all he really needs to worry about is the fact this Nexus needs to stay alive. It's definitely not an emergency call. I know what the call's about. It's fine. It's good. But we do see the engagement here. There are 2 Reavers, so he's got to be very careful. Look at that huge Scarab. 3 Dragoons going down. Another one going down as well. The Reaver actually on red health in the shuttle pulls away at the last possible second. and we do see Ranged actually taking... Well, it's actually fairly even still, even though the battles haven't really gone either person's favour, but there are 3 Reavers out now. There's no shuttle still, opting not to actually go for a shuttle, and look at this, he's using his Reaver in his shuttle now to try and pull the units back out the main. He doesn't really have enough units to push forward. I definitely don't need to take the call. I know exactly what it is. It's not important. It can wait. But yeah, there we go. We see... Okay. I'd just like to point out this Reaver is waddling over to the shuttle. That's going to take a while to get there. Oh, he's actually missed the shuttle. He needs to go back and pick that up. There we go. 2 Reavers in the shuttle are going to be a lot stronger. One thing to note is Ranged is actually building a really nice pilot wall around the top edge of his base, which is going to give him good vision. Looks like Dragoons were attacking something there, but I'm not really sure what they were attacking. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I have no idea. We see both players just kind of playing quite stably. Looks like he's going to get another spotting pylon there. Now, this gives him perfect vision of this ring, so there's going to be no shuttles that can come in there without being spotted. It looks like Wands is actually being a little bit apprehensive with his shuttle now, maybe waiting for shuttle speed. Let's check his robo support bay. No, so no shuttle speed is actually on the way. He's now up to 4 gates, he's now up to 3 gates, adding his 4th gateway. Meanwhile, Ranged is already on the 4 gates as well. Ranged can finally start adding Zealots because he does have enough Dragoons, but he is kind of stuck in this really awkward position. It's going to be kind of hard to push out against this, but the one benefit... Turn webcam on and do the robot. I don't need to do the robot. You wouldn't want to see me do the robot, let's be honest. It wouldn't be a very nice sight. Next round of this tournament should be played on Age of Empires 2. Oh, finally, we do see the shuttle coming out for Ranged. I guess he didn't really feel safe to move his Reavers out. Oh, we do see a big drop. The shuttle actually goes down, but there's so many Reavers, they're just going to take out these defending Dragoons. But the Reavers are slow that he can't actually get in to do any damage. He should probably target this pylon. I mean, it looks like he's going to try and do as much damage to the units as he can. But, ooh, those Zealots need to be really careful. Sending Zealots against Reavers doesn't look like a very good day, but losing only 5 Zealots to the 2 Reavers. A good trade there for Ranged, not actually losing any probes whatsoever. And it looks like they must have been shooting down an observer. Very nice. Very nice work, but we finally do see shuttle speed out on the map. Ranged is going to send a shuttle over. Is he going to be able to do any damage? There's not really that many spotting pylons, and look at this. 2 Reavers drop in the middle, and there's no reaction. A huge Scarab goes down. I can't see how many kills they're on, but the pull finally happens. Actually bugging out both Scarabs because they were chasing the ones at the back, but look at this. A good reaction, going up here, thinking the probes will be pulled up here. He's actually going to be able to take down this pylon. I think this is a waste of minerals. But it looks like he's going to be able to pick up and get out. Oh, he needs to get out of the Reaver. He missed the Reaver! Oh, that's not a good loss to have. And Wands is actually going to be able to stabilize a little bit. Getting a nice Reaver kill there. Looks like Range finally feeling a little bit more confident. Now has his obs out. Can push across the map. Oh, he's like... Wait, that's his shuttle. I was going to say, is he going to go kill the shuttle? I'm like, wait, that's his. But Ranged finally taking a position on the map. Looks like the tables have turned a lot. Ones who had map control the entire game, been forced to actually move back completely. The shuttle is still flying around with the Reavers. Might actually keep an eye on that just to make sure we see where that goes. It looks like Ranged with the 3rd base a lot quicker as well. This PvP is lasting a lot longer than most PvPs do. And it looks like Seru's just turned up as well. So, Seru, you are watching eMg versus WCE. This is the 4th set, but this is going to be the battle, I think. PvP usually comes down to one big battle most of the time, depending on where it's fought. If it's in the middle of the map, one of the persons can usually come back, but look at this. 2 Reavers out the front. He's going to get some nice Scarabs off before the fight even begins, and he's going to be running straight into a choke with all his Zealots. Another huge Scarab goes down. There's still a lot of Dragoons, but look at how many units are left here for Range. He's going to try and target down the Reavers, but he's losing so much he's not spread his Dragoons. There's only about 5 or 6 Dragoons left here, and there's so many Zealots moving in. And I think the range may be able to cinch this. He's at least going to be able to take out this Nexus. I don't think there's anything Wands can really do. He's going to try and push out and try and kill some of these Zealots. He will be able to hold on for now. It's going to take a while for these Dragoons to kill this Nexus, but as I say that, they immediately target it down. And he does actually have some Archons as well, but they're stuck. They can't really move in. They're actually going to kill these Zealots, so good move by him, but they're going to be absolutely useless against the incoming Dragoons. Does he have Storm? He does have 2 Templar with enough energy, but is Storm research finished? That could be the deciding factor in the next battle. He did lose his 3rd Nexus at his natural, which is a gas base. Of course, the 3rd bases on this map aren't gas bases, and we do see 4 Templar all with Storm have made their way across the map. A huge Storm goes down on a clump of Wands units who are completely stuck. Wands could still defend this as long as he gets some good Storms, but look at that, another great Storm by Ranged as he pushes in, knowing he doesn't really need to push in any further, is now getting the 4th base over here. He's now up to 7 gateways now. His production is going to start ramping up a lot. It looks like Wands going for almost the Harangi style of building really cool looking gateways, but only on 6 gateways, has finally taken back his natural expansion, but I don't think this is the time that he needs to try and push out. He needs to be defensive, and he needs to try and get his 3rd base back up. It looks like he mined quite a lot, but I think he's just going to go for an attack here. It doesn't look like he's sending another probe. Oh, there we go, there's the extra probe. That's actually going to move down. I need to hide the replay progress, really, but it looks like Wands is going to move out into the middle of the map. Is he going to be able to pick off these Dragoons? Oh, there's 2 Templar there. They do have Storm. It looks like that 1 Templar may even have nearly enough for 2 Storms. He does. There's going to be a blanket of Storms coming down on Wands' army. He pulls back. A huge Storm goes off on his Dragoons. He needs to be so careful. There's such a good concave of ranged units at the top. And I don't think Wands is going to be able to... Oh, that Storm killed about 4 Dragoons. Another Storm goes down, but there's just not enough units. Only 2 Dragoons remain against the control group, plus another 3, so 15 Dragoons of ranged, and this Templar is going to go down as well. He's forced to evacuate his natural expansion once again, and the well played comes out with the GG, and ranged will take this set, or take this set and the match for WCE in week 3. And okay, that was a really weird time to look over at chat. I'm just going to read out what Sarah said, because you can't see the chart on my stream. Faust, you have a very feminine penis. Okay, that's that's all I need to say, really. Like, what a time to look back at chat. Wow. Whew, jeez. But yeah, we do see Ranged actually taking that, and that will end week 3 for eMg with a 3-1 loss. Unfortunate for eMg there, but really well played. Okay, apparently my map said Sin Peaks of Baekdu as a map. I'm kind of confused about that. I think it's because I just saved it and it put it to the 5th map, which... Okay, my map overlay has not, like, worked well today. It's mainly because I keep pressing the setup button to change the races. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board with my... Play the SCC-A 2v2 for a minute. Come on, give a little hype for sale. I'm not sure if I want to ruin it. Like, the first thing he reads had to be that. I've been reading the chat a lot, but like, that was the one thing that I just turned over for. Sale, that should be Faust subscriber sound. King saying, no, I said he had a feminine penis, not a small penis. There's a difference. You won't ruin anything, it's a long game. Okay, Sale, what do you think I should do? Should I play the first minute of that 2v2? It's up to Sale. Sale's the one casting tomorrow. Okay, let's do it. I need to quickly download it. But I'm kind of interested in what exactly is going on with Faust's game now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide my overlay, because there's no need for that right now. what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go onto the download page for all the cool caster stuff that Psionic Reaver's put together on Google Docs, so good for him. And thanks for the team leaders for actually sending in their replays to Psionic Reaver. It does allow him to put everything up, so the casters like me, Sail, Gorgonath, Beaker, wait, is his name Beaker? I think it is. If it's not, I'm gonna look like an idiot. It's Beater, not Beaker. I know someone called Beaker, and Beaker's obviously the Muppet guy as well. But so you're on SCC-A. So let's look at set 3. There is no preview available on Google Docs because it is a replay file. Let's go straight into the folder. Let's pop this in. Let's do it. Let's show this first minute. Now I hope this is epic, Faust, because I mean, I'm expecting a lot after this. I'm going to put it in the SCC-B folder just so I can delete it easier afterwards. But Faust, this better be good. Okay, only a minute though. Okay, my chat is going a bit weird right now. This is kind of strange. But yeah, let's go out of this replay now. Unfortunately, if you've just tuned in, I've just finished casting the 2 sets I'm going to do, but as a special treat, I am getting you ready for Sail's cast tomorrow. Sail, of course, will be casting 3 other games. Just quickly, to save him going through it in chat, tomorrow from 1900 BST, which is 1800 GMT UTC, 2 PM Eastern Time, and I believe that is 10 AM Pacific Time. Sail will be casting NAS-A versus SKA, SCC-A versus NAS-B, and dM-Ice versus SCC-C. SCC-C is such a weird name to say. Right, okay. I've gone in the Protoss campaign again, there we go. Spoilers! Zeratul is in the first mission of the Protoss campaign in Brood War. But yeah, here we go, SCC-B versus dM-Fire. Let's see what Faust can bring to the table here. In the top position, we do have Shoop Da Whoop, who I can only imagine is part of dM-Ice. In the bottom position, we do have SCC's Faust. In the left position, we do have SCC's Taitu. And in the top right, we do have Seriosity, who is in fact playing for dM-Ice as well. Seriosity, a really good player. Let's see what's happening. He did say show the first minute. I mean, looking at the replay, this is going to go on for a while. I'm not going to show the timing or anything. What exactly is going on here? 40 seconds in. Send second overlord to me. I'm scared of DT and mine. Faust, we're doing the worker rush. Oh my god. No! Oh no! What the hell is happening? We are seeing another worker rush coming out of SCC-A, and just as we get to 60 seconds, we're going to pause the game, because look at these probes. They're leaving the base. They're not mining, and it looks like Tai2 is about to do the same thing. Now, I want to watch the rest of this game, but this is just a teaser. If you want to see this, you need to tune in tomorrow. You need to tune in tomorrow to Sail's cast at 1900 BST, 2 PM Eastern, 10 AM Pacific, to see the outcome of this game on the next episode. Indeed. And there's an account called SalesGF that just followed me. Hello. Nice to meet you.